All right, here we go. Ooh, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. All right. All right. All right, today's an exciting day. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite things ever, books. All right. Roll that intro. Oh no! Hey, what's up everyone? I am Minsu Choi. Today I want to talk about why books are so important to me and why I love reading so much. If I could encapsulate what a book is to me, it really is a gateway into a totally different new world. You know, I think books give us the ability to travel to faraway distant lands. It gives us the ability to dialogue with interesting people and people who inspire us and people who have done amazing things. I think a book represents to me the convergence of human expression and creativity and culture and just beautiful stories, whether they're fictional or nonfiction. That is an incredible power that we have through a shared community of readers. And I think what books have been to me personally these last 3 years has been one of the greatest teachers, one of the most important ways that I've grown and learned as an individual. And that's why I love books so much. This past year, I got to read 52 books and I'm just ecstatic. That was a goal that would take the whole year and I stuck with it and I built up these small habits of making sure that I spend a lot of time just sitting down and reading, and I got to my goal and I crushed it. I got to 52 books. So this next year I want to read 53 books or more, and I want to continue to make my life just surrounded by new books, classics, really great books that people recommend me, books that I know can shape and transform who I am and what I can do. And so that's why I love reading. So let's talk about some of my favorite books from 2018. First off on my list is J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. Man, this book doesn't really need an introduction, but I got to read this for the third time at the beginning of 2018, and man, every time I read it, I fall in love with it more and more. It's something that I like to continue to put in my rotation, and it just gets better. It's like wine, it gets better with time, and I think the complexity and the depth of the storytelling really draws me, and it's been a good teacher. Not only have I learned about theology, I've learned about virtue, I've learned about loss and hardship and adversity. This book has it all, and so yeah, I totally recommend this book if you have not read it yet. I totally recommend it. Even if you've seen the movies, it will blow you away. And so yeah, go read this. So the next book on my list is Angela Duckworth's Grit, and this is the new paperback version that came out this past year, and that gave me another reason to read it again because she incorporated a new chapter into this book. This book I actually read in 2017, and I love it so much. I think it's one of the best books to come out on business and leadership and education, and you can tell she has a passion for education specifically in this, and she really talks about this idea of grit versus talent, like hard work and perseverance versus any sort of natural gifting one might have. And the reason why I love this book is that she backs up all that she writes with research, and it's fascinating what she actually uncovers in this book. And I think it really has become a cornerstone in my understanding of how to grow and how to develop myself as well as other people. And so if you haven't picked this up yet, the paper copy is great. It has a new section in there that's worth reading, and I think it is a fantastic book to relearn what are the most important things in order to achieve extraordinary big goals in your life. All right, so for the next book on my list is Interaction of Colors by Josef Albers. This is the 50th anniversary edition. I actually didn't know anything about this book when I first bought this, but I'm so glad I did. It's more of a textbook. It's like an art course basically, and the main idea in this book is how to differentiate and identify hues and saturations of colors. Basically, how do you distinguish one color from another? And there's some really fascinating concepts in here that we wouldn't even necessarily be able to identify, but we do this all the time with our brain. And when this book first came out in 1963, it was very controversial because it was a new way of thinking. And what I've read is that really the Interaction of Color is the seminal book in pretty much modern day art education. What I love about the person is that when he first released this book, he got a lot of negative criticism and a lot of pushback because his ideas were experimental and very progressive. And to him, that was actually an encouragement and an inspiration. And so he really took a lot of that negative criticism and he continued to pour it into his theories, his writings. And I really respect that. And I think his life is a testament of not really giving into the naysayers and really pursuing the things that you believe in and sharing your ideas boldly. And so there's a lot of really high level complex stuff in this book, but I totally recommend it if you have any interest in colors and how they interact with each other, whether it's in a painting or on a digital print or whatever. And so yeah, very, very cool book. This was kind of like a what do you call it? This was a very just nice surprise, and I really enjoyed reading this book. Okay, so for the next book on my list is Brene Brown's Dare to Lead. I'm a huge Brene Brown fan. This book is no exception. I really love what she's talking about here. She really just continues her work on shame and guilt and resiliency and courage, but now she focuses on the workplace. And I really recommend this book for anyone who wants to understand how to be a conduit of undermining shame and promoting compassion and empathy and vulnerability in any given workplace. This book really highlights a lot of those universal issues, no matter what kind of work you do, no matter where you work, no matter if you live here in America or if you are from a totally different place. There are some universal truths here that I really love. This is just one of those books that I think should be on any young leader's coffee table. So read this book. So for the last book that I want to just share with you today that I read in 2018 is Bob Goff's Everybody Always. And I love the tagline in this book. It's becoming love in a world full of setbacks and difficult people. And I think that's the world that we live in. We live in a world that is in short supply of deeply loving and compassionate people. We're all in process and we're all trying to figure out how we can live and survive and thrive. And I think one of the most important ways that we can thrive as human beings in community is to become love. The stories that he shares from his own life are incredibly motivating. They're very emotional, they're very powerful, and they have elements of redemption and forgiveness and transforming something that's bad into something that's even better before the bad thing happened. And so I really love his heart. I love how he writes. It's very smooth and it's very lovely to read. And so I can't recommend this book enough. So in 2019, I think I want to continue to integrate more and more books into my life. I think it's been so life-giving, it's been so life-changing to read pretty much on a daily basis. And I'm already thinking about the long list of books that I want to read this year. And the most important thing for me is that I have fun with it, that I enjoy the books that I read, that I'm able to do it as a delight rather than a chore. And I just want to encourage all of you who are considering any sort of goals. I think reading can be a foundational piece to any discipline, any endeavor, and I just encourage you to go to your local bookstore, go to your local library, and just explore. Don't even go in with a mentality of these are the types of books I read. Kind of get yourself lost and totally judge a book by its cover. Pick up a book just because it looks interesting and start there and start thinking about what are the most important things that you want to learn and grow in and explore this year, and try to find authors and writers who talk about those particular things. And I guarantee if you put in time, just a little bit of time, either every day or every week, you are going to benefit tremendously from that investment. I don't think reading books has to be super expensive. I don't think reading books have to be cerebral. I think a lot of the times the books that I love really hit me in my heart, and so I just want to share with you that my life has been extraordinarily impacted by reading just good books, and I invite you to join me on that journey and share with me your favorite books and the books that you are planning on reading. So that's all I really wanted to talk about today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please consider hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time on my vlog. Have a wonderful day.